suffering be dispelled. Let all pain, suffering be dispelled.
Yeah, I agree with that man. Let all pain and suffering be dispelled. Well, hello to you. This is the Barefoot. I am delighted and privileged to be here with you. I must warn you that due to intense traffic conditions on the M1 and M6 as I wend my way from the Jaguar Skills hideout in Sussex in East Anglia to Manchester to work with the record label, the delay has caused me now to be at a service station on the motorway where the signal for some reason drops from 3 bars where it is now down to 1 and then 0 at random intervals. So it's quite possible that, although I think not probable if the Tao is with us, that this session might be interrupted to the point of nauseam, in which case we will just have to reschedule it again. But that's okay because the magic is working. And I'm sitting looking at a pile of tallow gas tanks. This is ugly, but you know, beauty is in the eye. I see trees as well, and they're very beautiful. Yeah, that's what to focus on, and some lawn and what have you. Now I have been thinking a lot about this one, the Tao of space, or the element of space rather. That's an innovation of mine that I've been searching for about 30 odd years, because you know, in the Chinese or the Taoist elements, instead of air, they have metal, and I like that. I love the Chinese thing. I love the Taoist thing. But for me, as a Westerner, my brief has always been: how do you go back to the time when these guys made it up in the first place, and feel that mindset, feel those conditions, and find the originality of how it all began for yourself? And I was encouraged to do that. I had very generous teachers. My first Tai Chi master said that. He used to say again and again, we must go back to the time, you know, I called it pre-Taoist wisdom. Same as my teacher of the acupuncture was the same. He said that the reason all this Taoist stuff left China, well, it left China because of the Chinese Revolution, and all the top people practicing the esoteric arts fled, and many of them to San Francisco, Chinatown, which is why that became the main repository of Taoist wisdom in the world. The mainland Chinese kind of have taken it back over the last 20 odd years or so, and have done an amazing job of it. However, he used to also say the reason that this has happened was so that the ancient wisdom of the East would mix with the younger, but somehow more, how do you put it, well, totally different Western intellect, and that the combination of the two would produce something totally new. So he encouraged me to somehow interpret everything in my own style, because it's an art, and artists interpret it in their own way. So when I interpret it, this isn't ever intended as sort of a declaration of the absolute truth. It's merely my interpretation of an ancient system. You as the artist then take it for yourself and do the same. So when it came to the element of metal, which is sort of symbolizes the slicing of a sword through the air, which means division, and through division you appreciate wholeness. I kind of, and the air being representative of the unseen intelligence that informs the entirety of this cosmos and maybe beyond, forever and ever and ever and ever, in every possible way, from the subatomic level outwards. and your connection, our connection with that. In fact, to say our connection with it is absurd. That's deluded. There's never been a separation. We only think there has. We are that. That is us. I mean, that is what manifests as human beings. And then we get on and do the best job we can of channeling it. And the Taoists found the way to amplify the process or direct the process so that you could actually increase your innate awareness that what you are is this universal intelligence, this primordial consciousness that knows everything throughout time and space forever and ever and ever and ever in human form. And that through cultural conditioning, you have learned, as we all have, to limit yourself to the level where you're able to function in a sensible way in a complicated material world full of ridiculous protocols and rituals and all the rest of it without getting bruised too much or without bruising others, and if you're lucky to come out of it ahead and smiling for the duration, however long that might be. So for whatever reason, we have been blessed over the last 100 years or so with a burgeoning accessibility to these mysterious, esoteric ways of the ancient, and I mean ancient, 12,000 years and more, ancient East. And I kind of finally, in writing up this satsang thing, the title, I got it, the element of space. And it was like, I love that. I love that. Because that's what it is. When my whole, it's cosmological, isn't it? I mean, our relationship with that, being that, you know, the intelligence that informs the entirety of space, if you like. Yeah, that's exciting, isn't it? So here we are. We're working with the element of space today. Myself, this is not to go, oh, I'm wonderful. It's just a bit of, you've got to talk about something. But, I feel like I'd be being, what's the word, disrespectful, not sharing. I want to share because it has been quite an amazing experience. I've been thinking about this space element session we're going to do now and the effect it can have. And I'll go into that when I've told you about this, why we're doing it. For, I don't know, a whole week, on and off, it's been part of my thinking agenda. I think about a lot of things all the time, that I'm working on, and this has been one of them. It recurs. And it's been set against the most fascinating backdrop because this was in the space of under 4 days, leaving Heathrow Airport on Wednesday late afternoon, arriving back at Heathrow Airport Sunday afternoon. That's in less than 4 days. I went to Hong Kong, did a party, went from Hong Kong the next day to Seoul in South Korea, and did 2. And now these parties don't get going till 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's not like you can have a sleep before because you've got to go out to dinner with a promoter and go through the rigors of having a most amazing Thai massage. I have to stay both nights, I'm sure. That's what's really kind of kept me going. And and then doing the parties, and then generally not going to get to bed till 6 in the morning. And this is on top of the time zone changes. I'm good at that. I hypnotise myself into the time I'm going to be out and so on. And in that, always constantly aware of what through all this change, masses of information. I haven't been in Hong Kong since I lived there 40 years ago, and it's changed a lot. It's grown by about 10 times, and put a new skyscraper, still complete and utter carsy, but in a lovable way. I say that lovingly. I think I was the most Taoist thing in the whole place, but the information coming in, huge slews of it, and then moving Seoul. I've never been to Korea before. It's fascinating. I'll tell you about it another time. Really beyond fascinating. And I'm in Gangnam. There I am, Gangnam style. I'm not doing that stupid dance. And the city dance, rather. No, actually, it's not. I really like that dance. I shouldn't have said that. I like that. And the information coming through is astonishing, and I'm seeing it in context of space. I'm seeing it in context of the constant. What is the constant here? And in this, as an example, sitting in the dressing rooms, party, VIP thing that you sit in after the show, and really dear friend of mine, Jaguar Skills, is sitting opposite me, and nobody knows that I'm this, barefoot. I was on a vacation from being barefoot, so I'm the music guy, and I'm talking to the head of the main Korean mafia, and charming man, charming, truly charming, wild, scary man, and we get to the conversation. We're talking about life and death, and we're talking about compassion, we're talking about conscience, and we're talking about things that have to be done, and the way the world has become, and the toughness of it all, and how the science fiction thing of guys walking around with AK-47s is the reality now, and how, well, I could go on and on and on. But it brought him to a state of almost crying. Really beautiful, amazing moment. Everyone saw it. And then Jag says to one of these beauties that sort of like seems to be draped all over him on the other side of the room. He goes, you know, he's a famous guru. He says, Doc, I'm sorry to blow your cover. He's a famous guru, you know. And they thought he was joking. Kind of like, yeah, because, you know, it was incongruent. And I laughed as if he was joking, it all passed. It was a really funny moment of like, yeah, famous guru. Anyhow, so the backdrop of all of this, and coming back flooded with information to process, hit the ground running, working, and what to, you know, doing stuff and what have you, is there is this fantastically exciting adventure going on, this adventure movie. I mean, I know that was an extreme version of it, but I'm excited like this by life all the time. I'm excited to see these Calagas tanker things, tanks, and these trees, and to be here on the planet. And I'm in space, and this planet is spinning on its axis. I know I repeat myself, but 1,000 miles an hour. That's fast. That's faster than the plane I was on. And it's zooming around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. And the crust of the Earth is like about an average of, you know, where the land is, I don't know, 20 miles sort of thing. It's not very much, 20 miles. And then you go underneath that, and the whole thing's boiling fire. It's boiling fire. I mean, this is something, this thing. And all of this has come out of a black hole, a tiny little pinprick of nothing in the center of what is now the galaxy that it spawned, and will eventually, a long time from now, return. Then it will get sucked back into that black hole at the middle of the Milky Way. And this seems like a very tragic thing, just like my own death seems like a tragic thing sometimes, if I take it personally. However, I find that the more I drop back inside, and the more by doing that, I'm finding myself in touch with this massive, huge presence that is as big as the universe, that seems to stand behind me. And this is, I understand, metaphorical, this spatial placement, because it doesn't exist in this dimension, any of it. Well, the more I can feel that, the less personally I'm taking everything. And therefore, I love the fact that nobody knows that I'm this guy. I love that. You know, it's a beautiful thing, because there's no personal attachment to it. Ooh, they don't think I'm important, they don't, ooh, and any of that nonsense. It doesn't go on. I think of my own death. You know, you get on the plane just after that one disappeared. That's a weird one, is it not? You know, really weird. There's just, well, we'll find out, I think, maybe. But, I mean, horrible, I hope not, but really, really bizarre, because there's no trace of that thing. And I'm, you know, you always think if you might die on a flight, and just totally surrendered to that, because I'm aware that I stop as Stephen, as Barefoot, as whoever I am. You stop as you at some point in time, but it doesn't stop. It goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. It is what we are. And the more you drop that, the more you don't just think that intellectually as some kind of, oh yeah, that's clever, but you really are in it. You are that. You are that. And then when you talk to a gangster, or a murderer, yeah, you know, to be honest, and you are able to talk past even that to the presence, to that same presence in them, you can make them cry. You can make the toughest man I probably ever met cry with compassion. Why not? It's a beautiful thing. He felt safety with me. And that's because it was the presence talking with the presence. Like, let's drop all the bullshit. Let's drop all of it and just be that. And so that this is my message. Let's drop all the bullshit and just be that right now. So let's start by, this is it, we are beginning now. The magic is going to, just before we do, the reasons that we do this, why? What's the benefit to us? Because there's got to be a benefit to us. Why not? When we are with it, right, the more we get with it, the thing I've just been talking about, the big background presence, the more we receive original impulses, i.e. impulses from the origin of everything, of creative nuggets that, if unpacked and worked with, will produce some beautiful flower for the benefit of everybody. And along with it, this transpersonal perspective that you gain is a very clear understanding, not from being a good person, nothing to do with that, but just from viscerally feeling that this is not all about me, it's not all about you, it's about the whole. And we give ourselves to serve the whole, and we keep that spirit going, serving. How do I serve? How do I serve here? How do I make it better for everybody here? Without thought of my own personal gain. It then serves us back in the most beautiful, luxurious, unexpected, elegant way, as it just did for me doing that trip. And that is not contrived. You can't contrive. If I had contrived that trip, it would have been dull. It would have been ridiculously silly. Why would I? I don't mind if I didn't do that thing. So, and it's that, this sense that what we have right now, whatever it is, however painful, we're here. And just being here, to see this, to know this, to experience it, to taste it, to hear it, see it, to touch it, this is the gift. This is the gift. This is the gift. And anything else is a bonus. That's it. I mean, I have heard a story recently of somebody who can only, they can't even move their tongue, actually. Imagine that. Oh, it's horrible. And I don't know how it would count for that. I can't speak for. I don't know. But I can say that, you know, sure, such extremities, just being here, this is the gift. I said that because it helps put things in perspective a little, doesn't it? To be grateful for it, because this is it. So that's where I want to start, by coming to the point where we realize that this is it already. We've already got it. This is the miracle that we're looking for. And then we'll build on that. So if you just close your eyes and sit back as comfortably as you can in the chair, which is what I'd recommend you to be using. Close your eyes and stop holding your breath. Start to let your breath flow more freely, fluently, smoothly, evenly, silently, silkenly, which for some reason isn't an adverb. And as you do that, start to let the muscles of your body have a rest. I mean, you work them so hard without even realizing it. So just let the muscles of the body let go. From the crown of your head down through your head, your face, especially your face, your cheeks, you know, around your eyes, your chin, around your ears, back of your neck, down the shoulders, and shoulder blade area, shoulder cap area, and the arms and the hands and the fingers, and the sides of the body, and the chest, and between the shoulder blades, and around the middle back where the kidneys are, and the front where the solar plexus and the liver and all that stuff is, and down in the intestines and in the lower back and the kidney area up there, the pelvic floor and genital area and the buttocks and backs of the legs, fronts of the legs, the sides of the legs, and down all the way to the tips of your toes. Just softens. Let it be soft. And to support this structure called you, you have this beautiful skeleton. Just get the sense of the crown of your head being lifted, as if it was a helium-filled balloon searching for the sky. And as it does that, you feel the back of your neck lengthen. You feel your whole spine lengthen all the way down to your pelvis. And from your pelvis all the way up to the crown of your head and up to the sky, beautiful length. Allow your shoulders to drop. As you do that, drop the entire burden of the life story you've been carrying around just for a moment. You can pick it up again. Just drop it. And let your chest be broad to welcome whatever blessings life wants to bring you now. Raise your breastbone just a millimeter or so, just to open the hood of the doors that are going to open in the middle of the chest, and then get a sense of like Hanuman the monkey god ripping his own breastplate apart, that your two sides of your breastbone are opening to reveal the splendor of your heart, the jewel of the essence of you, that whence exudes the unique beauty and gorgeousness of your soul, and that is unique, peculiar to you, and that comprises your gift, the essence of your gift, no matter how you shape it to the world. And it is the giving of that gift, of the beauty of your soul, through your heart, through your love, that is the mechanism or the currency that will buy you the rewards, or earn you the rewards coming back multiplied the other way. So the quality of this beautiful essence of you that you allow to exude from the center of your chest now is going to determine the quality of the gifts that come back to you. And they will come back multiplied exponentially. And get a feeling that rather than be held in thrall to the fascinating play of light and sound going on in front of you, perceived by your sense organs, rather than be enmeshed in the processing of the tension going on in the solar plexus and the closing of the chest area and so on. Take a break from all of that and drop back inside, so that you're leaning back against your shoulder blades, you're leaning back against the front of your spine, you're leaning back against those rear pelvic bones and your sacral bone, just like you're sitting back in a really comfortable chair. And at the same time as sitting back, you're sitting down. So the weight of your body is going down to the sacral bone and in through the sit bones into the seat. The weight is going down where it wants to go. It just goes down. So you're really nice and heavy down there, really rooted, and yet the upper part of you feels light and free. The final touch to this setup process is to just lightly tilt the head back as a gesture, imagining the inside of your skull to be a cave high up in the sacred mountains. And your presence, your mind, normally sitting in the front, inveigled in the incessant conversations that goes on in there, is now obliged to slide back along the floor of the tilted cave until it's nestling up against the rear interior wall of the cave, leaning back against the wall on a pile of very comfortable, beautiful cushions, and gazing with gentle intent into infinity, which you, as that little Buddha sitting in the cave, can now see through the center of your forehead, for no reason whatsoever other than what would be better to gaze at. And here you are, breathing slowly. You have arrived, and you are in the company of a few hundred other people from all around the world, all the different time zones, like-minded, beautiful souls who have just shed their outer shell and now sit here with you and I in absolute openness, all of us radiating beautiful love in our hearts freely. And the first thing is to feel the love move all the way around our circle and bathe everybody here. So everybody here is now being bathed in this beautiful love that we're each sending out. Allow that to nourish you, to caress you. Feel it in your chest. Feel it in your hands and your wrists. Feel it in your legs and in your face. Feel it. And observe it all from the back here. Leaning back inside all the way. No need to come forwards for it. Leaning back into everything. Leaning back into everything. Flowing backwards, flowing backwards, flowing backwards, and the love is moving around. And we're safe. We're safe now. We've generated a sphere of happy chi, of love. Protective, nurturing, supportive, life-affirming, encouraging, beautiful love. The juice that we all thrive on. And we're leaning back here, we're leaning back, we're leaning back. And first of all, to protect ourselves, the loop. You breathe in and you see the entirety of your spine, from the tip of the spine at the coccyx, all the way up to the crown of your head, in fact, light up like a line, like a laser beam line of a stream of bright, bright white light. Zing! You breathe in and whoa, there it is. And as you breathe out each time, you light up the front of the body, from the crown of the head down behind the face, behind the throat, behind the chest, behind the belly, and down into the pelvic floor to form a loop. And it's the same. This white light is suddenly there in the front as you breathe out. As you breathe in, the white light activating in the back protects you with the power of the Tao. And it directs you to all that is good for you and everyone. As you breathe out and you activate the white light in the front, this is the grace of the Tao. And it also protects you, and it connects you at the lateral level to all that is good for you and everyone. And as you breathe in, bang, and the light goes up the back, activates in the back, it's also refining you. It's refining your essence, refining it, making you fine. And as you breathe out and the line of light activates in the front, it's purifying you of all the unnecessary nonsense that you would otherwise drive yourself mad with, all the crazy, negative, fearful thoughts, all gone, purified. And as you breathe in and the light, the bang in the back lights up, it's drawing to you everyone and everything that you need to succeed in your mission now, by their free will and for the highest good of everyone involved. And as you breathe out and you activate that line of light in the front, you're releasing the very essence with great compassion of everyone and everything that needs to be set free from your orbit now. Again, by their free will and for the highest good. You're breathing in, bang, you refine yourself. You're breathing out, you purify yourself. And now we're ready to go. So now the movement is backward flowing. We normally think that we want to go forwards, which is obviously what we're here to do, to progress on our paths. We must go forwards. Well, the Taoists had this brilliant yin-yang understanding where if you want to uproot a plant, you first push it down into the ground to weaken the roots, and then when you pull it up, it comes up easier. In the same way as when you take off in a plane and it gathers speed on the runway, the G-force thrusts you back in the seat. The further back it thrusts you is indicative of the faster that it's moving forwards. So the Taoists understood this, and they realized that the more you flowed backwards and the faster and the further you flowed backwards, the faster and the further you would move forwards. It's a very, very beautiful concept, but not only is it a concept, it works. I tell you this from my experience. So now what we're going to do, now we've gathered ourselves into the circular shape, we've delineated the shape of our spirit bodies during the boot, in fact. So we maintain our integrity. This, by the way, is the technique that enables you to do that when you drop your body finally, according to the Taoist canons and law. Just remember that. And now we drop backwards. We drop back, into the back, into the back, into the back, and out of the back. Out of the back. And as soon as you come out of the back, you notice you're bigger. And you keep going out of the back, further back, further back. Come on, come further back, further back. Keep flying backwards, backwards. And you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. To the point you can look down on your human head and go, oh, bless you, bless you, bless you. And keep moving backwards and getting bigger and bigger and bigger until the sight of your human body from the back is getting smaller and smaller. And bigger until the sight of the town or the city that you're in is getting smaller and smaller. And further back until the sight of the entire hemisphere that the city you live in is on is getting smaller and smaller. And further back until the entire planet that your human self is on is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And further back and bigger until the entire solar system that the planet that your city is on is in. And further back until the entire galaxy that this solar system orbits is seen smaller and smaller and smaller, and further back and bigger 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 until you can feel that what you are is spaced forever and ever and ever. You are space. And all the galaxies and all the black holes and all the dark matter and all the mysteries of the entire cosmos, of the multiverse for all we know, is within you. And you within it. And here you are it, intrinsically, no separation, no relationship, no communication, because you are it. You are it. We are it. And here we are right now. And as it, we are now privy to all the information that exists throughout time and space, past, present, and future, forever and ever and ever. And all the creative ideas we each need now to progress each on our own individual paths as those human beings back there on that planet is now available to us. So now, open yourself, relax fully, and receive through the top of your head, as if the two halves of your brain and skull are opening up, into the chamber up there, into the cave, and then flooding the entire body within. Receive the information that you need now. Don't try and name it. Don't try and describe it. Don't put words to it. Do nothing with it. Just receive it with grace and emptiness now. And allow the sensation of what's coming in, the energy coming in, to gather in your lungs. Your lungs are the receptacle of the space element in the body. Let your lungs be filled with this thrill of existence, this consciousness in motion. Let your lungs be the repository, the storehouse. So as you breathe now in your human form, from now on, you're stimulating this connection, this awareness, this consciousness within you. And that keeps the flow coming through of what we would normally call intuition, or those spontaneous insights, knowing that all the information you need now to take the next steps on your path will be given to you. And it will be of the highest quality, not needing to be examined or questioned. You'll just know, and you'll follow it. And as now custodians of this energy, this consciousness, with this privilege comes the duty, which is to intend it, will it, to be available to all our brothers and sisters of the human family, at least to them. And if we can manage it to all sentient beings that are in the entirety of our cosmos. That we now will that this pure consciousness, this universal consciousness, this intelligence, unfathomable intelligence, is now available to everybody, that everybody has the feeling and knowing that this is who and what they really are, and that somehow this knowing, however subtle or even unconscious, will lead people spontaneously, progressively, more and more to not be so impulsive and reactionary and afraid and needing to impress and doing all the other stuff that causes all the trouble. That there will be a growing natural awareness of sanctity and the miracle of everybody's individual existence, and greater willingness to cooperate and collaborate in the next stage of our collective evolution. So be it. And may your rewards for partaking of this be limitless. And now just take, in that respect, a moment to allow, being in the back of you, being this presence, allow your imagination to run wild just for a moment. Without inhibition or contrivance, allow whatever pictures, however unreasonable they seem, however grandiose they may be, however unexpected, whatever pictures want to come up to indicate to you the kind of view you can expect to be enjoying a short while hence as a result of doing this session. Just allow your imagination to see it. And through it all, through all the images that are coming up, see yourself in the midst of it, smiling, so roundly, so soundly, so fully, so heartily, so enthusiastically, so brilliantly, that you hardly recognize yourself smiling back at you. So joyful and delighted do you look. And allow that joy and that delight to fill you now. Let it fill you now as you are, as you're coming back into your human form. Not that you actually left it, but you're reoccupying it cognitively, while fully aware of what you really are. Huge, massive, indescribably infinite universe. And yeah, we're back. The way of the warrior is to straddle these two worlds at all times, so that you're with one foot in this material world, this wonderful game, cruel as it can be at times, and you're with the other foot in the world of the infinite. And now I will pass this over to the capable, loving hands of the most magnificent, wonderful producer of this show, an esteemed colleague and dear friend of mine, Sue.
Hello.
Hello.
That was very nice of you, thank you.
You're very welcome.
And for the satsang, of course, as well, which was also lovely.
Thank you.
Right. Hello, everybody. We only have one pre-submitted question today, and it's from David. And he says, how can I turn my passion into a solid income?
Well, without knowing your passion, David, it's hard to be specific, obviously. But I guess it starts at the magical level, which is, I think one of the most powerful tools for this sort of thing is writing, like you used to write lines at school, 100 times or so, 81 times, by hand, of course, pencil I prefer for this. I am I'm now naturally turning my passion into a solid income. But my passion is transforming yourself into solid income. I like the idea of solid income because income should be blind. It can't be really solid. But anyway, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You start off with that. You then do what we just did, and you ask your big self, the big self, to show you what you need to do, what steps need to be taken practically. And then gradually, over a period, don't rush it. It's very important in the early stages of creating things that you don't rush it. You can't push the river, have respect for the yeah, you'll not miss out on anything. Destiny will ensure that you get it all that you're meant to get. You allow the picture will form. And writing things down is very important. Drawing mind maps is diagrams, whatever, very important because it helps focus the mind. It strengthens the magic. And once the picture is fairly well formed, however nutso it might be at the beginning, because you can change it. You might find the initial picture, well, you usually will be different from the final kind of version, but it'll have the essence. And you start to do one thing every single day. It can be a big thing or a little thing. It doesn't matter. But you've got to do one thing every day. And I say a little thing. It could be just writing a note or banging something up on the computer or just sending an email or whatever. A big thing could be whatever. It was something massive and huge. But you've got to do one thing every single day without fail, even on the weekend. That will further you, that is part of that picture. And you keep your mind focused on it, and you will be tested. The universe will inevitably kind of make you feel stupid for taking a risk of putting time into something that isn't what you're really earning your money at and all that kind of stuff. But by hook or by crook, one way or the other, and usually the more you expect, the less you resist, the quicker it will be, you will find yourself within a certain frame of time with your passion turned into your income. And may it be so for you, sir. It will take courage. It will take a lot of courage. There will be times where you will question yourself and wonder if you'll completely start raving bonkers. I promise you, I do often. But I tell you, I speak to friends of mine who do the other thing, working in the relatively safe corporate world where everything's very sensibly sorted out. And they get that anyway. They still won't have times where they think they're nuts as well. So if that doesn't, you don't avoid that one. But eventually, and it's a beautiful thing, you will find yourself doing the stuff you really love doing. And then life becomes, see, I tell you, David, the thing is, for me, and I think this is really, must be true for everyone, if you let having fun, and I don't mean frivolity, I mean true fun, the glee of knowing you're on a planet, and wow, this is an adventure, that feeling, if you let the fun of every moment, even the horrible sad ones, there's a fun in being still. If you let fun be your guiding rule, your guiding principle that drives you through everything, and making everything you do fun as well, life will just bless you at every single turn. And I think one of the biggest keys to making life fun is seeing how you can help everybody as you go along. The more you can help people, even just, me telling the mafia guy, after he told me his story, which really was actually quite moving, I said to him, like in context, I said out of context, let's forget judgment and all the rest, because who am I to judge anybody? You are a great man. You're a great man. And that's what he wants, man. That's this whole thing is about. See me as a great man. And I saw it in him, and I fed it back to him. That was my gift to him. Now I might have gone the whole way over there to do that, and goodness knows what effect that's going to have on him. I don't know. Maybe they'll start turning their hands to sort of, what do you call it, philanthropic projects for but you never know. Anyway, there you go. Nice talking to you, David. I want to say to everybody, your questions don't have to be deep. They don't have to be like philosophical. They can be utterly daft and superficial. I don't mind. It's just nice talking to you. Come on, let's have a conversation.
Right, we have got a couple of deep questions coming up, but before we go to those, David also said, these sessions are exceptional, life-improving, much gratitude to you.
Oh, bless you, man. Thank you. Yeah, for me too. I love doing this. I can't tell you how much I love doing this. Thank you, everybody, and Sue, for making it possible.
My pleasure. Moving on to the next question, and this is from, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, I think it's Syra. How can I alter my energy to bring a relationship into my life? I have been single, mostly voluntarily throughout my life, but now no longer wish to live in this state.
Okay. If it is Syra, hello. Hello, that was my voice to people who want to have a relationship in their life. I become like the agony Aunt Marjorie. Hello, this is Aunt Marjorie, and I'll tell you what you need to do. You find a moment where you are really in the mood for it, and are willing to take it seriously, and give it the respect it deserves. And like I was saying to David, whatever you want in the world starts off with a thought, it starts off with an intention, and then it becomes manifest. That's how it works. And when you're talking about drawing someone into your orbit, which is what we're talking about, it involves somebody else and their free will and all the rest of it. I think behind all that, that's probably all a bit of a charade, and really all it really involves is destiny. But somehow, paradoxically, we're required to go and say, no, I want this now, even though it's coming your way anyway. But if you didn't say, yeah, I want it, somehow it wouldn't come. It's a paradox. So you get yourself in a state like we were just before. You sink right back inside. You float back, you float back, you float. You get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so you don't have to be the whole universe. You could just be big. And so you're with your big self. You feel that sense of, yeah, I get that I am not just this body. And from that state, knowing that if it is your destiny to have someone in your life now, they are up there somewhere here on the planet, we presume, unless they're an alien who hasn't landed yet. And you don't know where they are, you don't know what they look like, so you remove all thoughts like that from your mind. And you tune in from your presence to the presence in whoever it is that's coming your way next, because there is somebody, and into the back of them, so to speak. And from your heart, your beautiful heart, you radiate your love in their direction. You allow them to radiate their love back to you. If you can feel it, if it's right, you've connected with the right one, because there will be an easy flow of that energy back and forth between you. And there'll be like a column, if you like, of this happy chi, this love going between your two chests. You don't look at their face because you don't know their face. Don't put a picture on it. It's an essence we're talking about. And then you say to them, whoever they are, whoever you are welcome now to come into my orbit, as I hope likewise. I have a lot to offer you. I have this beautiful heart and all this love to give you, and it's pure, and I'm ready to give it to you. And that's the most important thing. All the rest is the details. This is what and I'm open to receive yours if you want to give it back to me. I welcome you into my life now. Come, come, come. You say that 3 times, and then you wait, and you see if there's a sense of an energy connection between the two chests, two hearts, which invariably there is, and a sense of, yeah, okay, thank you for the invitation, thank you. Now, what actually happens there, even though consciously you don't know who it is, your subconscious mind, that which is one with the universal mind, knows exactly already who it is, and so will transmit by pheromone, not just by some airy-fairy nonsense. It will transmit by actual chemical pheromone through the air to that person who will receive it, and that will activate a connection. And somehow or other, through this illusion of time and space, this man, if it is a man you're talking about, will appear in your orbit as if by magic, and you will know, or you might not quite get it consciously in the moment, but you'll kind of have the feeling pretty quick, and bang, there it will be. You will be in a relationship, and the next thing we'll be talking about, how do I deal with this? How do I drive me fucking mad? And all the rest of it. We'll get to that later. Okay, and the next one. I tell you what, on the plane, you might think me cynical, and I know I am. I do it for fun. But on the plane, I watched Richard Curtis. He's one of my great. I really love Richard. He is one of the greatest unsung heroes ever of filmmaking. He's such a genius, utter genius. And his latest film, About Time, I mean, it's the only guy I know who can get past my cynicism and make me cry. And I say, and it's great on a plane because dark. Nobody can see. I just sat there weeping like a fool the whole way through. And it's ridiculously romantic, very beautiful, and I strongly advise it if you're a girl, especially, because I do love girl movies. It's wonderful. See it. It's great. It really just depicts what you would normally think of as like a pretty perfect relationship. It makes you think, yeah, man, I can imagine that kind of, but not really. Anyway, Dave, back to it.
Your energy is amazing since you got back from that trip.
Yeah, no, I'm buzzing, man. I am so buzzing from it. I really am.
So let's go with Diana's question. Diana says, hi, Barefoot. My question is in two parts. Part one, is it okay to feel overwhelmed and a bit scared of opening up my mind to the cosmos? What if I let negativity in? And then part two, on another note, since the last satsang, I've had a huge career promotion which feels overwhelming, and I am unsure if I can cope. How do I steady myself and not get overwhelmed by the power of the cosmos? Thanks, Diana.
I love that question. Hello, Diane. I like that question. First of all, yes, we must protect ourselves when going into this sort of realm. And that's why today I did that orbit thing, that loop. That is a very powerful form of protection, if you can see it clearly. Otherwise, you use a sort of hula hoop style circle around you, or like a cylinder of white light around you, or an egg of white light all around you, spinning, firstly counterclockwise, obviously at the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles a second, fast in other words. Because that neutralizes all incoming negative energy and also your own negative energy going out. And then simultaneously, once you've got that going, you spin a similar one clockwise around you, which will draw to you all things and people positive and helpful, like, yeah, people on a good high vibration. And as well, do that internally for you, so it will kind of whip you up into a nice positive state within. That one works really well. And then there are various Qigong moves that you can do to enhance that, but I can't really show you those right now. That would be, I would recommend that on a daily basis anyway, because there's all this stuff lying around that we need to neutralize and so on. And then the other question is really interesting. I mean, and why you're scared of it? Yeah, because good, you're respecting it. That's why you're scared of it. Only a fool would not be scared of it. So don't worry about that. It's good to be scared of these things. They're big, and it's wonderful, and it's exciting. And, like, you can't really stop yourself going here because it's already begun. You wouldn't have come to the satsang if you didn't want to have it. So, like, trust it, but be scared. It's good to be scared. Fear is fun. Just roll with the fear. It's okay to be afraid. It really is okay. It doesn't matter. It's only fear. Fuck it. You just breathe and enjoy it. It's like, get off on it. Now, the second part is really interesting because this is a big one. This magic really does work, and it does bring slews of manifestations. And when they start coming, it's hard because it's like, whoa, I don't know if I can handle this. Yeah, like that. I've been working on a music project for 3 months, and it's been a totally ridiculously intense process. And the result I come out with is an anonymous thing, so you won't know it's Barefoot Doctor on purpose. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it is absolutely brilliant, I have to say. And the whole process has been major. And now that we've come to the final stage of it. And the record label which is one of the coolest on the planet, is putting it out, which is what I'm going to be doing now. I'm on my way there to sort out the final bits and pieces of it all. When it's all got agreed and everything, I wanted, couldn't think of anything better at this stage. This is as good as it could be right now. I was like, wait, there's so much shit, there's so much to do, and then everything else I've got to do on top of it. It's just like, wow, this is overwhelming. What do I do first? I don't know if I can do this. And it's like, just relax and enjoy it. That's what you're doing it for. It's going to be all right. Like, the way you get that, it's not just intellectualizing, it's by dropping back out of the drama of it all and just going, what's my intention? My intention is to handle this. I know I can do it. If I don't like it, I can always drop it. I just handle it like a master by relaxing and knowing I can handle it, and that's my choice, and that's what we'll do. And the mode I choose to handle this process in is one of calm joyfulness rather than flapping about it. And I understand that I might be prone to flapping, but that's just an old habit of mine, which if I finally enjoy, but I can keep doing, but if I don't have to anymore, and so on and so forth. It's that attitude, really. And I'd like to hear from you, Zion, again, in a while, to tell me how it did shape up. But you know it's for you. You know it's what you want, because you've manifested it, and you know you'll give it your best, and you know that you'll succeed beyond your expectations. You know that. Just keep seeing it. You know that. You know you will. And freaking yourself out is just evidently a bit of a game that you like, because it gives you intensity. It's a habit, that's all. We'll do it. Next one.
Okay. And we've got a question here from Francesca. Hi, Doc.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what would cause very sore, achy buttock bones and how to overcome this? My mother has had this for a while now, and she is fit, does yoga, walks, etc. Thanks, dear Doc.
Hi, Francesca. It'd be good to know, does your mum get this? Does she sit down a lot? Does she get it when she's sitting down, rather, from sitting down, or lying in bed type thing? Is there a particular position where she's kind of like got, or is it just happening from walking around and so on and so forth? That would be good to know. But actually, anyway, whatever, the way to get to it, it's like this. You stand with your legs, your feet about shoulder width apart, knees bent, and you reach back behind you with your hands, and you place your palms on your buttocks. And you do this when you're on your own, unless you're with people that you know very, very well. So you just say, you hope you didn't hear this shit. And the idea is that you alternate the movement of the hands, so it's not done at the same time. It can be done at the same time. Usually it works better alternating, to wobble your buttocks. So you relax them as much as possible, and you wobble them as much as you can for quite a long time, as fast as you can. It's a very, very nice feeling, actually. That's the beginning of it. When you've had enough of that, you stop for a minute, and you'll feel the nice energy rush around there. And then you press in with your thumbs, or a smooth round pebble, for example, would do the job. Into the buttocks, into the gluteal muscles, until your thumb tips reach the actual sit bones. And then basically you massage around the head of the bones, like you would if you were massaging a turkey for Thanksgiving or whatever. You massage it, the heads of the bones, and find the places that are really sore, and where you find those, you spend longer. It's not rubbing brutally like a brute, obviously. It's done sensitively. You're talking to it with your thumb tips or with the pebble or whatever, and you'll say, come on, come on, come on, let go, let go, let go, let go. And a couple of sessions of that, there should be an improvement already beginning. Also, hanging forwards with the legs straight from the hips, so that you're stretching your hamstrings, as you can do that on a regular basis. I think it probably says you can. Stretch the hamstrings a lot, and more than you normally would. In other words, I don't mean forcing it, but tilt forwards more or backwards more, whatever it takes to get the stretch a bit stronger, and feed it all the way up into the buttocks. And then you sit on the floor, you put one leg out, you cross the other one over it, and then you twist yourself round in the direction away from the bent leg, so that you stretch the buttock, and then you do the same on the other side. Things like that, that helps too. And that's all I can think of to say about it, about your mum's bum. Bless her.
Malkit is saying about the satsang, beautiful and beautifully received. Love, Malkit.
Oh, thank you. Well, you're a beautiful being, so receive it beautifully.
And so Sieglinder's saying, thank you for making us so big. I feel really small now after coming back.
Well, Sieglinder, that's good too. You could take that as far as you want as well, and go into being the tiniest thing possible. the tiniest, and once you get into the smallest thing you can possibly be, the subatomic particle, it goes kabang and you'll be everything again. That's fun as well. That's a fun game too.
Okay, this last question is actually from Sieglinde. It's about her son's accident. She says, the problem with my son's bike accident is still ongoing. The lady doesn't want to admit that she didn't indicate and pushed him off the road. A nice meditation to resolve this in a positive way would be helpful. I do stuff myself, but your stuff is so magical.
Sieglinde, what to do is, this is a bit heavy, so listen, this woman is sitting in front of you in your mind, about 6 feet away, 2 meters away, and you're sitting opposite each other. At first she feels a little uncomfortable, so your first job is to send her energy that makes her feel comfortable. So you're not judging her, you're not stuck on the outcome yourself, you trust that what will be will be. And yet you have an intention for her to be honourable, and she isn't being, and she's embarrassed about that, and she doesn't want to change her mind because that means she was wrong and then blah, so your first job is to make her feel comfortable and not judged, that you both somehow understand the reality of what's going on here. Now, I would like you to feel coming in through your upper back is primordial mother love. Coming in through your kidneys is primordial father love. So this is the archetypal level of mother and father. And the love that is pure from a mother coming in through the upper back, and the love that is pure. I hope everyone's doing this because this is important. The love that is pure from the father love coming in through the kidney area. And you're feeling it increasingly growing. There's a sense that you're really being loved. You're really being loved through the upper back by the mother. And you're really being loved and strengthened, of course, by the love coming from the father into the kidneys. And it's growing as quite a force. And the force of it is producing a shape in front of your heart. It's not in the body, it's just out in front of the body a bit. And it's an orb. And it's a mysterious looking thing. And this orb is starting to glow brighter and like deactivated. It's of some unknown substance, some kind of alien substance. Hard to describe it. And it's growing and glowing until it's activated. You can see it's activated because it's got a subtle spin going on in it, very quick one, that's hardly discernible to the eye. So fast is it, so discreet is it. And this is belief. This here is belief. It's the quality of belief, belief in you and in your ability to have the other understand fully what is honourable in this situation. And as you do this, the other, you can see exactly the same happens to her. She's got the mother love coming in through her upper back, the father love coming in through the kidneys, and it's grown in her to the extent where this orb has popped out in front of her chest, which is her belief. And it's not just belief that works with dishonesty, it can only work with what is true. And so it's clear to her, and you can see it in her, it's clear to her from the energy coming off this orb in front of her. She just knows that there's no need anymore to stick to that position that she wasn't comfortable with anyway, really. That her pride is able to dismantle itself enough for her to feel, yeah, okay. And this is all done as a potential. This is not forcing it. This is not against her free will. This can only come about, this result, if it is by her free will and for her highest good as well as yours. And we can't judge that. Really, we can't. No matter how unreasonable, we can't judge that. So with that, the spirit must be with that spirit, pure. You see her get it. You see her face get it and smile with a beautiful smile of, you can imagine what it would be, can't you? the humility and the pathos and the recognition and the trust and the vulnerability and her joy in seeing you acknowledge that and seeing your respect for her to do such a courageous thing, because it is a courageous thing. And you see her accede to your desire and say, yeah, and you see her nod at you in acquiescence. And you see yourself feeling the feeling you want to get, which is, oh, thank you, justice, good. And then you clap your hands 3 times, bang, 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 and that dispels any attachment to the whole thing. What will be, will be. And may it be what you want. And everybody, thank you so much for being here, and thank the Tao, the space, and what informs it forever and ever for us all being here, and thank all the brilliant minds who created this technology that makes it possible, and thank Sue for making it possible. And this is a powerful one. I think many amazing things will occur for all of us here. That is my wish for you. Many beautiful, amazing things to happen now. And come next week, next week, Sunday, we'll be back on the regular groove again. And that will be, this is space, the next is Earth, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know, maybe I've got that back to front. No, we've done Earth, haven't we? I think I've gone the other way. I don't know what this next one is. I know, you know what this one is? It's water. This is water. This is all about flow, the next one. Yeah, man. This is going to be good. The next one's all about how you get it all to flow beautifully. And I hope to see you there, many of you so.